Hey guys, it's Oliver from Spitfire Audio, and I'm here with Rob Ames and Hugh Brunt from the LCO. And I'm going to ask a few questions, and we're going to elaborate on the performance we just did together. So I've written the piece for demo purposes for the LCO, and I was lucky to have 4 of the guys here and play it live. And so, Rob, how did you feel? How does it translate from the library onto a live performance?
It's really great to have the opportunity to show how some of those techniques are used on top of electronics and stuff like that. So we had a whole morning together, and we had the chance to experiment a little and take the kind of the base of what we've done for the Spitfire library and elaborate on it a bit. So we're playing with things like circular scrubs and woozy vibrato and some slackened strings as well.
Right. Where do usually the ideas come from? Like from these techniques? Like where is the inspiration?
I think a lot of them are inspired by the contemporary music that we work with day to day. Sound's very important to the LCO world, and also they give a bit of a nod to our collaboration. So I work with the likes of Mika Levy and Johnny Greenwood, and particularly Jed Kurzel as well.
And how does it work when you work with those collaborators? Does it work? Do you work in a similar way? Is it kind of a workshop style? You work together, or does the artist usually have a very clear idea what they want you to do on the instrument?
Yeah, it varies from artist to artist. But thinking of our film work with Jed, often that'll start with a workshop phase involving Robert and 3 other principal players, 3 or 4 other principal players, working to sometimes just a rough cut of the film and some verbal direction from the composer. There might not be that much stuff actually written down at that stage, and it's just an opportunity to explore some of these sounds and techniques, try and build some thematic material that might form the backbone for the set cues themselves, which are developed later. And then, yeah, we have the sessions themselves, and sometimes a bit of some extra workshopping in between. Depends how long the lead time is for the film project. But that's been a really nice way to develop some of these more experimental colours with the likes of those artists.
Okay. And then I think one really important question for all the composers out there: how do you kind of notate all that stuff? How do you get to play these extended techniques?
I think there are a couple of ways of notating it, but I think one of the simplest ways is just, when you're working with us, is just to kind of put down in writing the kind of sound that you want to hear. And it's a kind of organic process where between the player and the composer and orchestrator we'll find the right way to play it. So for something like circular scrub, which we did a lot of today, it's not as simple as circular scrub sounds the same all the time. It's a sound that changes depending on the player. It can have like a massive range of different dynamics. You can have vibrato on top, you can have no vibrato, it can be more sul-pont, it could be more sul-tasto. So there are like a million variations upon every single technique that's in the library. So it's a kind of searching process.
Right. So you would, in the workshop, you would kind of find the right sound for the piece of music, and with your input as well, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Like we did today.
Mm-hmm.
And same with the granular, exaggerated bow pressure stuff you guys are working on today. A lot of that can be very, aggressive sounding and raspy, and then actually you can get some very beautiful, ethereal, just sort of light, scratchy colours through using far less bow pressure. So, I mean, there's a great amount of variation in these particular articulations.
Right. And a lot of them, I'm guessing, like the composers are not quite aware of, so you guys have to probably help them a little bit to find the right sound.
Yeah, sometimes. Although, some of the stuff is fairly standard, but it just takes musicians to push it on another level. So something like sul-pont, for example, there's so many different ways of interpreting that. You can get kind of high spectral sounding sul-pont. You can have quite gritty, dirty sounding sul-pont. So even something as standard as a marking as that's been used for, super long time and is employed by composers loads in film music, there's even a massive variation within that.
Okay, cool. Do you guys have any interesting projects coming up with the LCO?
Yes.
Stuff.
Yeah. No, we've got a project coming up, a large orchestral project coming up in August, working with Shiva Feshreki, who we've developed a really good relationship with. So it's exciting to work with her on a new piece. And recently we've worked on a couple of films, notably Johnny Greenwood's score for Lynn Ramsey's You Were Never Really Here, starring Joaquin Phoenix. So we're excited to be able to talk a little bit more about that. And then, yeah, Jed Kurzel's Alien and Jupiter's Moon as well that screened at Cannes, along with the Lynn Ramsey film. So, yeah, plenty of film sessions going on and live performance.
Yeah, we're doing a BBC prom at the Tate Tanks. That would be the beginning of September, and that would feature one of our collaborations with Actress, which
Amazing.
really does
Exciting.
employ a lot of these techniques and is the culmination of a kind of long working process between him and the musicians and Hugh. So it's really exciting to perform that on that kind of stage.
Amazing. Cool. Thank you very much for the insights, and pleasure having you here. Thank you.
Great, thanks.